South Africa have completed a 21-run victory against Ireland in the first T20I, um, and at Bristol, of course. And it was a good performance from South Africa with a bat, with a couple of good performances with the ball too in between, but mainly it was with the bat that I was impressed. We saw a changing lineup. There were some other guys given opportunities over here, and it was ultimately a very entertaining match, but also quite nerve-wracking match in the second innings. Ireland really giving South Africa a run for their money. But before we get going and I get started with this preview, please subscribe to this channel. I mean, sorry, with this review, please please subscribe to this channel and click that notification bell. I don't know why I always mix it up. I have no clue. It must be this is a brain fart, basically, like Dean Alge in that press conference against England. Subscribe to the channel, of course. Also get involved with the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. This is the latest issue, 100% free, guys. Rashi on the cover. He speaks about, and there's quite a few interesting points made in this. I mean, there's some excellent exclusive interviews in this magazine. So go ahead and grab yours. It's 100% free, all issues, back issues as well. So get involved there. But also get involved with the Patreon account if you want to help us grow South African cricket. The link is on the screen as well as in the description as well. So, guys, I'm looking forward to this one. I really want to chat to you guys and see what you guys thought about the match. Let's give an honest view of everything, chat about everything that went down in this match. It's also a fan called in, so this is an opportunity for you guys to also call in and have your say on the show. But that's a little bit later after I've given my basic review of what I believe went down in this match. I mean, just my opinion. So I hope you guys enjoy it. So let's get straight into today's video. A very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics magazine. This is your review show. I'm your host, Khalid, and this is the show where we talk about everything that has to do with the first T20I between South Africa and Ireland. Now, South Africa have completed a 21-run victory against Ireland in this first T20I. Let's give you a quick match summary. If you haven't got an opportunity to obviously watch this, we have to also give content out to people that haven't had the chance, don't have TV, can't watch these games, which is a travesty. So I just want to give a quick summary of the events that happened in this particular game. So South Africa started off, unfortunately, not as well as we'd hoped from a Quinton de Kock standpoint. He was run out on 7. He started off like he has against England in the other 3 matches. But once again, getting himself out. Now, that means 12 games now. I mean, okay, I think there's 2 matches in that list that he didn't bat in. But let's say 10 on the bounce, basically, of not scoring any runs above 36, I think was his highest score in the last 10 games. So it's been a bad run of form for Quinton de Kock. But we expect them to still pursue with him and continue with him until he finds his form. Because at the moment, he's the one that is responsible for his own wickets falling at the moment. He hasn't necessarily been bowled out or bamboozled by anybody per se in the last couple of games that I've seen him play. Majority of the time, it's him that's thrown his wicket away or some unluckiness has happened in that place. So he will come good, I'm hoping. But I do believe that the criticism that we give to others needs to be fair. And we should criticize Quinton for not being informed too. But obviously within reason as well. Just I'm trying to be equal with that, to say that if you're going to criticize one person, criticize the other. It's very important that we are balanced as fans, that we give equal criticism across the board. So I understand the criticism behind Quinton de Kock. He has been in terrible form. Hopefully in the second T20, he'll get an opportunity. I mean, me personally, I said before this match, I would like to actually explore our options or put ourselves in a situation that we have more options. So I would have liked to maybe see Riley Russell open the batting, give Quinton de Kock a little bit of a breather, um, and then bring him back in against in the India tour. Um, so I would have maybe liked to see what Riley Russell could do. I mean, Riley Russell only played um, 3 games for South Africa now since his return, and I would have hoped that he would have played in every single match because I want to see him play as many matches as possible leading up to the World Cup, so he can get a run of form heading into this World Cup. But other than that, hats off to Riza Hendricks. It's the fourth half century on the bounce. It's the first time a South African has ever done that in T20 cricket. And he joins a group of players. And the only two I can remember from that list is Chris Gale and Brendan McCullum that have done the same thing, 40, 20 I-50s on the bounce. So that's an amazing achievement. And that alone should actually put him in the World Cup squad, because I think that he's now proven himself now over a couple of games now. I mean, not anybody. It shows that he has the talent. It shows that he has the ability. He's always shown it in domestic cricket. And I've been saying it for quite some time that he's a very, very talented cricketer, probably our best domestic T20 batter in that top order. If you look around the country, of the guys that have played consistently T20 domestic cricket, you could say that Riza Hendricks is right on top there as probably the best. And he's never really shown it moving up to South Africa. He showed it in patches. Like I said, like he has he scored an amazing 70 that I saw him score. That I saw him score at Newlands against India, I think it was. That was the first time I really saw what he's actually capable of. And today he's equaled his best score of 74 today. So that was a very good performance from Riza Hendricks. Rassie van der Dussen played today. Wasn't the best of games, but he showed the right intent. I liked his attacking approach that he showed. So that was good to see from that perspective. But Aiden Markram today, for me, was exceptional as well. I mean, 56 of 27 balls. But Riza Hendricks, 74 of 53, striking at 139 was excellent as well. So both of those players obviously looking really good. But Aiden Markram striking at over 200, he was excellent in his performance today. I mean, definitely for me, number 4, that is where he is for me. I think that is the spot for Markram. Okay, he didn't bowl today, but which I would have liked to see as well. I mean, I was calling for an opportunity for him to perhaps get a wicket there. But all of our bowlers put in a shift and bowled 4 overs today, so that was good to see. Good rhythm, good experience for them. But a good performance from Aiden Markram today. It really was. But we have to take our hats off again to Tristan Stubbs. I think he's our number 6, guys. I don't want to look further than that. I think he's the number 6 for us. South Africa coming in, took 1 or 2 balls to get his eye in, and just started going. I mean, striking at over 200, 11 balls, 24, 3 fours, and a massive 6. I think his hitting was excellent today, as well as Dwayne Pretorius coming in with a bat. And I think that the way Dwayne Pretorius batted today, for me, puts him ahead of Andile Pekgekwayo because of his batting ability to be able to come out and look comfortable and score at a high rate of over 300 he scored today, and really took South Africa over the 200 mark to make sure that we can win this game. Extra runs 21 runs that he scored is actually ultimately what won us the game today, because the bowling wasn't up to scratch. Now I want to get into the bowling. Our seamers never bowled well today. Dwayne Pretorius was poor today. He went for, and yeah, too, guys, because we criticized Andile Pekgekwayo heavily for the way he bowled against England, even though he took key wickets. Dwayne Pretorius never took any wickets today and went for 44 runs. He went for an economy of 11. He bowled very poor today. It wasn't good from him. And he needs to obviously, we know what he's capable of, but it was an off day. And every players do get off days. That is the case. And on a small ground, it's dangerous for these guys that bowl these slower balls of 120. It's very dangerous for those guys, especially if the guys are hitting the ball like Dockerel hit the ball today and like Tucker hit the ball today. They were fantastic for Ireland, and Ireland showing that they have key X factor players in this team that can make them a really dangerous side. People warned us in the live chat yesterday to not be overconfident, and Ireland is a very good team, and we shouldn't underestimate them. And that showed today. They were excellent today with the bat. Those two were very good with the bat today. 190 for 9 they ended up with. Yes, South Africa. I always back the bowl to be able to defend a total like this. Anything above 180 usually I'm very comfortable with South Africa defending. But today they were a bit all over the show. They weren't at their best, and we have to take our hats off to the batters for putting on a nice total so for them to defend, so that they could have that cushion. But Keshav Maharaj was the best bowler in my eyes today for his 2 for 29. He bowled really, really well today, kept his composure. He was accurate. He was consistent. Lungi Ngidi again was good. Not to his best, but his death bowling was excellent. His penultimate over was brilliant. And as well as Wayne Parnell. Wayne Parnell was really good today. And for me, he's ahead of Andile too when it comes to an all-rounder bowling position. So Andile's situation is a bit tricky to think about it. But I think both Dwayne Pretorius and Andile, when you look at either discipline, one of them is better than him in either. So with regards to the ball, Wayne Parnell, he's got the pace, he's got the left arm option, he's got a good Yorker, he bowled well at the death over there. Apart from the 6 that he went for, we were hoping that he will get that maiden over to end off the game. But unfortunately, he was smacked for 6 with the last ball. But still, very good performance from him. 2 for 36, economy rate of 9 today. Good performance from Wayne Parnell. And me personally, I think he's ahead of Andile currently. I think both all-rounders are unfortunately, I believe that at the moment. Tabrei Shamsi bowled well today, 2 for 37 with economy of 9.25. He should get some credit. He was punished. I think if he didn't go for so much in that one over, I think it was his third over, we would have been sitting here obviously praising him a lot more. But good, a much better performance at Bristol than his first performance at Bristol against England. So that was really, really good from that point of view. So ultimately, I think South Africa, good performance. A close one at the end made us all sweat. I think at the end there, we really thought that because Ireland were ahead of us in the game at some points of the match, and that has to go to the two batters. George Dockerell was phenomenal with his 43 off 28 balls, strike rate of 153, and a big congratulations to Lorcan Tucker for his performance today. The wicketkeeper batter was excellent. 78 of 38 balls, striking at over 205, 5 sixes and 7 fours. Phenomenal performance by him today. He almost took his side close to a victory. So that was really, really good from him. So overall, I got to see what I got. Overall was a good performance, and I'm happy. We got a run out in the middle. Aiden got a good performance. So I was happy about that. But I do think we need to decide what we're going to do with regards to a backup for Quinton de Kock. If his form continues like this, it could be very dangerous, and he shouldn't be protected from criticism like everybody else that performs poorly has been criticized. Look how people went after Reza Hendricks for a very long time. So it's only fair. And even Aiden Markram was getting some stick in the ODI arena as well. And before he scored that 3 consecutive half centuries before, he's on another 3 consecutive half centuries now. So even before the consecutive half centuries that Aiden scored before, he got criticism too. So others think that I'm not saying that we must go overboard here with criticism, but just criticize where it's due and be equal with regards to criticism. But unlucky. It was a run out. So it's unfortunate over there from that perspective, even though it was his call and shouldn't have taken the run there. But yeah, he needs to get some form, and I hope that he can in the next Ireland match. I hope that he can get a nice big total, a big score, and he can bat really well going forward. So yeah, that's my quick summary of the match. You guys, the links, the land is open now for you guys to call in and have your say too. and come have a discussion with me. Obviously, it's midweek, so it's late at night here in South Africa. To the guys that are not from here, and obviously in other parts of the world as well. I mean, India, of course, the guys that are tuning in from India. Thank you so much for joining in, because it is late at night, and I understand that. But the guys probably are all sleeping, they have work, etc. It's midweek, it's difficult for them to come on. So you guys can call in if you want to call in and have your say. But I'm going to start with the live chat and see what you guys have to say in the live chat. If you want to make sure that we see it, your questions, um, then if you want us to see your questions as well, then please get involved with the super chat. Um, John saying there's also load shedding. No load shedding here, but by me, I'm actually shocked that there is the loading. Is the load shedding in Joburg or in Cape Town as well? In which areas? Because I didn't know that. Brendan Shumba saying, Dwayne this, Dwayne that. Respect Andile, please. He's saying, John Locke, where you at? Andile hasn't done enough to earn respect. Pretorius was poor today, so it's equal criticism of there. He was poor today, but he was good with the bat. It was getting closer than I thought it would at the back end. Well done to Ireland. It was. Brendan saying Fabrizio Romano. I back that guy, and I mean the way people go on about Fabrizio when he gets one or two things maybe wrong. I mean, it's he's not God. He's gonna get a couple of things wrong, and if he does, then so be it. I mean, it doesn't mean that he's unreliable now just because he gets one thing wrong. Um, an Ireland fan, bowling needs to improve. As an Ireland fan, bowling needs to improve. Yeah, that is something that you guys can work on. Perhaps just finding a lot more. I think maybe your bowlers start a little bit too much. Maybe keeping the basics there would have maybe helped them. You guys to start to what's the word I'm looking for now? It's so late at night. Um, um, to stifle them, basically, to keep them at bay, South Africa at bay. If you guys, I think you try too much, too many variations, sometimes bowling off the line and and kind of bowled into South Africa's hands in a way. A lot of those boundaries that were scored were of very bad deliveries. If I mean, I think that Ireland needs to tighten up that bowling, and I'm sure you will bounce back in the next game and give us a proper game. Got the talent in the team. It's a dangerous T20 a team that you guys are putting together, and I mean that was without Paul Sterling coming to the party and performing today, and your captain as well, who has given us problems in the past. So I'm hoping that South Africa can win the series 2-0, but I do see Ireland fighting back. I mean, they're known to be fighters, and I respect that about them. But it looks like the T20 competition in the world is going to be excellent. I think it's another tight World Cup we're going to be seeing. I'm excited about it. Do you think Dwayne Pretorius should play more than Andy? I think that Dwayne Pretorius is Andy, and I think that, like I said before, Wayne Parnell is too. Smash the like button, please, guys. It's very important that you do so that we can get this video in other people's feeds and in other people's recommended feeds. I also personally think that Panali is our best all rounder. I feel he's more reliable with the bat and ball. I told you Rousseau is better than Rassi. I mean, we can't really say that after one match per se. You could say that from a striking perspective, that you could say that Riley is currently in T20 cricket ahead of maybe Rassi, who tended to start slow. But today he tried to start quicker, and then he ended up losing his wicket. But unfortunate for Rassi. I mean, the guy averages 40 odd in T20 cricket, so we can't really diss him because he's done well for South Africa in the past, even in the World Cup, winning us a game or two. So, yeah, I mean, at the moment, I think they need to discuss what they're going to do with the two of them, because it would be great to see both of them in the team. But with the way Aiden's playing at 4 and the way Stubbs is playing at 6, David Miller as well 5. It's going to be tough. One of them is going to have to sit on the bench, unfortunately. Um, or they have to make a decision on Quinny, which I don't feel comfortable necessarily with, because I mean, maybe I have a bias towards Quinny, that I believe that he'll come good. And that's just maybe a hope for me from my side, but he does deserve criticism if he performs poorly, and he has been in terrible form currently, and players go through that. And I hope that he comes out on top, because I hope that he doesn't go into the World Cup with the same form. And luckily, we still have a series to go. Teams need to get Stubbs out early, otherwise 20 balls for him will take the game away quickly from them and destroy them. And that's the thing about Tristan. You need to tie him down early. You don't give him time. Two balls is enough for his eye to get in. So you need to make sure that you keeping him at bay very early on in the innings, and frustrate him. But what I've seen in Tristan's game that is different to what I've seen in the past when I started seeing him. I've seen how his game has matured from the time that I've seen him in Kai Majolo week to the time now to the Warriors and then to now. He's found a way to score runs consistently, even if he's not clearing the boundary. Rotation of strike, making sure that he keeps the strike, running between the wickets. He's been excellent holistically as a as a batter. So I've been very impressed with his all-round game as a batsman. I think that has been something that is added to his game that I've seen him mature more and more with regards to his finding, and yet he has still space to develop, guys. That's what makes it even more exciting when it comes to Tristan Stubbs. That there's still place for improvement, and you wouldn't say that when he's smacking the ball out of the ground, out of the stadium. Rochelle should replace Clarson in the next match. That would be interesting to see. Then do we move everybody down so Aiden maybe bats at 5? That wouldn't actually be bad either. I would actually like to see how South Africa plays with that lineup. Perhaps Riley can bat at 4 and Rassi bats at 3 and Riza and Quinny open. That could be a very devastating attack. Actually, I don't know why they didn't try that today, but I guess they wanted to give Heinrich Clarson also an opportunity. I wasn't impressed with Heinrich Clarson today. He takes I think he also takes some time to get started. Today he wasn't that great, but he had the sense to know that he should rotate the strike or give the strike to Tristan when he could. He didn't do it at first, and then he started doing it more often, realizing Tristan needs to do this for us. And then Tristan lost his wicket, of course. But Tristan lost his wicket, and this is what I want to say. This is how we look at it, because if you look at the score and you look at the scorecard and you see, oh no, some people might look at the scorecard and say, oh no, Tristan only scored 20 today, he didn't get a half century or whatever the case may be. It's the intent that counts for me. The way he lost his wicket. He lost his wicket trying to go for it, and we were trying to push above 200, and he had the right intent, and the intention was there. And I don't mind players losing wickets if the intention is there. It's when people try to be conservative and try to be a little bit scared, and then they lose their wicket. That's when I get a little bit irritated, because the intent wasn't there. But today, I mean, our batters had the right intent all around. And there's people who want Markram dropped. That Cricket for Journey is very quiet. I never saw that. Who wanted Markram dropped? That's insane. Markram's been one of our best T20 cricketers since the World Cup, or even before the World Cup, running into the World Cup. He's been, I don't understand the logic behind dropping him and why. That will be interesting. Yeah. Anyway, Justin saying Rousseau must play next match. Markram wastes balls. Markram must bat for also in tests. I wouldn't mind that, actually. I would like to actually try that out. There's a lot of competition for that position, though. Best SA player currently is Aiden Markram. There's no hope for Clarson 6 or 7 balls. But there are some days when Clarson eats form. But I don't see him as a 6. Like that's why what my argument was, is that when you play, if you drop, for example, if you don't have Quinny available, then you have to drop 2 players to fit Clarson in as extra, as a keeper, as a backup keeper, because ultimately Clarson bats at 4. So either people shift up or shift down because he bats 4-5. He's not a 6 for me. He's not someone that's going to come in. That's just my opinion from what I've seen in the past. Someone that's going to come in and do what Tristan does and score quick runs for you. I think he's a guy that consolidates an innings. Like, for example, if you're struggling and you lost a few, and then Andy comes in, he can win you a game. He's a match winner from that perspective. But if we need South Africa to when other people are doing well, and South Africa have a platform, and Heinrich comes in, he struggled quite a few times in those scenarios, and I've seen that in plenty of games leading up before that happening. That mother Tucker can bat. Dwayne again showed what he can do with a bat. and he didn't do well with the ball today. So it's like all I want to see is equal, guys. All I want to see is equal, because there was a game where Andila did well with the bat and did poorly with the ball, and people said he's crap. When Dwayne does it opposite, then we praise him. So I think the criticism needs to be equal. He was bad with the ball today, good with the bat today. I want to see Rousseau next match. Also, I want to see Captain Miller back. I think Miller had an injury. They were saying something about that in the on commentary, that he had a little bit of a niggle, and that's maybe why he didn't, and that's why he didn't play today. So yeah, let's see and see if there's any updates on that leading forward, going into the next match. If the media person will release any statements regarding that. Is the must to have Keshav Maharaj to open the batting? Is it a must for Keshav Maharaj to open the bowling? Sorry, I know you meant bowling here. It's not a must, but I think I understand when they play two spinners that the one of the spinners open. Um, it does give you an advantage if you can keep the players at bay. It eats up overs, and you can keep them. And a lot of players actually struggle to play spin from the get go before their eyes in. So I do understand the concept of doing that. And on a smaller ground, you might be able to entice people into shots and then get wickets early. So I understand, but it's not a must. But if you're going to look between Shamsi and him, and you're going to pick a spinner to open, it's either Aiden or Keshav that opens the bowling for me. If we're going to open with a spinner. Um, Jana, ik moet slaap, says John. Yeah, you must stay. It's late, guys. So if you want to leave, I fully understand. I'm going to wrap it up quickly, guys. I don't have any panelists today, no callings today. So I will understand if you guys want to go and sleep after this, because I'm going to try and get it as quick as possible. Commentator said we shouldn't. Oh, wait. Let's read this one. Ngidi should have been rested for the series, knowing his past with frequent injuries, so that he should not get injured before the World Cup. I actually would have actually rested him and played Andrich today, because Andrich needs as much rhythm and much game time as possible that he can get even before the Test series. So I would have actually rested him, because we have a major Test series coming up as well. We know Ngidi is now our best T20 bowler. Give the guy a rest. Let him freshen up for the next test, for the Test series, because we're going to need him there too, because he's also one of our best bowlers there too. I think we've got a very good bowling unit, and we must be very pleased and impressed and chuffed with that. But I think next game, letting Kiri take a rest. He looked like he was a little bit of pain today running on the field. So I hope that he's not getting a recurring injury or something's popping up again. So I think maybe don't risk it. Give him a rest, play Andrich, or even Gerald Kutsia. Throw him into the mix. I would like to see what he has to offer. It's crappy when a player goes into and doesn't even see one match. So now that we've got the victory in the first match, I think just experiment in that last one. Give Gerald Kutsia an opportunity, maybe. And I would like to also see Riley and Rassi play in the same team. Let's see if we can do that. Commentator said we shouldn't count on Brevis. You think he can make the squad for the World Cup? You shouldn't count out Brevis. Sorry, you think he can make the squad for the World Cup? Um, I don't think so. Not the way Aiden's playing currently, who's kind of occupying his type of role. Not the way Tristan Stubbs is playing recently. Not the fact that we have two number threes that are fighting for a position, and not the fact that we have two openers fighting for the same position as well. So I think it will be very difficult for Devo to come into this team right now. And I still hold strong that I would like him to play some first class cricket, domestic cricket, first class cricket, to really teach him extra pay, to get a holistic vibe to his batting, to improve his batting. Because I agree with what Urshel Gibbs had to say with regards to that. He's such a good talent, and I want him to get even better. And I think by just playing T20s, that's not going to improve his batting. Miles from getting selected for SA, says Jean. Listen, guys, Quinton de Kock is a goat, but he's struggling. With that said, we don't seem to need him to score runs to win games. I will say that I think he's lucky that Temba's injured. It's an interesting point there, Tsepo, because I think it's lucky that everybody else is in form, because I think there would have been a lot more pressure on Quinny and a lot more criticism on Quinny if the rest of the batters didn't come to the party. So it's kind of been lucky that our batters have won us games, because otherwise it would all have been about taking more responsibility from Quinny's perspective. So he is kind of lucky with regards to that. Um, but I see them playing him until he gets into form. And that is just the case that it is. What happened to Christian Yonke? He played well in the game with India and was dropped forever after that. There's an excellent piece by Ngama on our website. Type in Christian Jonker, Cricket Fanatics magazine. Read that article, guys. It will tell you everything that you need to know about Christian Jonker, what he went through, why he's not around, what happened with the Proteas. He actually told us some excellent content there, guys. He gave us, he opened his heart to us, really. I must thank him for that, for being so open and honest with us and telling us exactly what he's gone through in South African cricket. So go ahead and read that article on cricketfanaticsmag.com. Miller will come in next match for Clarson. Ultimately, it's between Rassie or Riley. Yeah, that's if Miller is not injured, because I heard from commentary that he might be. So that will be interesting to see. But yeah, David Miller. I've already said what I thought about David. I think he's matured a lot more, and this captaincy is actually might bring out the best in him, I think. Let's get some final questions. Khalid, Andila has not been consistent for quite some time now. That's why him being selected gets so much backlash. Dwayne Pretorius and Pani has more good performances. I agree with that. But I still do believe that criticism has to be as well equal when players do perform badly or well. Let's just be equal with our criticism, etc. Why is Keshav Maharaj playing every game in every format? He most favorable. I think it's also his leadership qualities, and I think also because we've been in situations where two spinners help us. I mean, the two spinners aided us today, and it has been aiding us on these smaller grounds. I mean, in England, surprisingly, which I didn't think. So I really think that they like having that extra spinner option in case one doesn't do well. And the versatility that both of them show, you can use them differently with regards to the one can open, for example, Keshav, that's an option. Um, he can really hold an innings and kill a killer innings. So that's also good. So I don't know. Boucher seems to like the two spinning option. He's been consistent in doing that at least. So I respect him to sticking to his guns and being consistent. I think people have forgotten how Quinton de Kock carried the batting lineup on his back post 2019 World Cup. Just one bad series won't define him. After all, he is Quinton de Kock. But it's not just one bad series, though, Dix. Um, and people love Quinton de Kock. I mean, as you can see, there's not a lot of criticism that really going around online about him, really. Um, and so people do really love him. I love him to bits. I mean, he's one of my favorite players as well. I even like his personality, to be honest. I mean, the couple of interviews that I've done with him, I really enjoyed. I liked the way he was with me, and how he spoke to me off with air as well. So I'm a big fan of Quinny de Kock, but I just think that if he is struggling and they speak to him and he decides that the rest is maybe good for him for a game or two, I'm not saying drop him forever, because he's too good for that. Um, but what I'm saying is that they need to discuss it with him, see where his head is at. If they feel that he can bat himself out of it, which I think he can, because for the majority of the time he's thrown his own wicket away, like today too. I feel that the run out was his call. He could have opted not to run. It was directly to the field. It was straight in his eyesight, so he would have seen that the fielder was too close. I don't know why he took the run, but sometimes that happens. That's unfortunate. Runouts are unfortunate ways of losing your wicket. But in other matches, he's thrown his wicket away, either chasing a wide delivery or just misplaying the incorrect shot at the wrong time. So, yeah, they must just have a conversation with him and decide what's best for him and what's best for the team. I don't know what happened to Linda. I don't know what happened between that conversation where um, I think there was a discussion with the selectors about whether he's going to play in New Zealand. I think it was when they wanted to select him for the New Zealand tour, and he decided rather to play in the competitions play cricket because he didn't want to sit on the bench. From what I've heard from the sources that I know, my unrevealed sources close to my heart that I can't reveal. So that was what I was told. I don't know if that is true. Maybe I can get him on a show and maybe have a conversation with him. Holly, do you think that Quinton Cop is droppable based on his performance? I think anybody should be droppable. I don't think anybody should be undroppable. I don't think that is fair on anybody, and especially when players are out of form. But now that they played him in the first T20, they might as well give him the second one, and see if he can get some runs in the second one. I mean, clearly, this is not about ability over here. This is something else. This is form. This is mental. I don't know what this is because there's no way that Quinny suddenly became a bad player. He's just going through a bad patch. So you need to. South Africa's shown trust in the past. They've shown patience with Temba. They've shown patience with Riza. They've shown patience with Aiden. Patience with many players. So it's only fair that they show patience with Quinny then. Others want fairness ultimately. And I know it's sport and it's the real world and blah, 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 and you can't be always fair. That's not how the world works. I want a utopian world, and unfortunately, that's not reality. But it is what it is. So I would like consistency over everything rather. Three consecutive 50s again for Aiden. Yes, of course. I mentioned that at the top of the show. And the four consecutive half centuries for Riza. The first time any South African has done that. And he's amongst only a couple that have done, I think, four players that have done so in T20 international cricket. Marwan Nkunika is a seasoned campaigner. Our former greats also had bad performances and was back through those bad times. Yes, but I don't think anybody's gone 12 games without scoring without scoring runs. It's a very, very bad patch, and it's the worst patch that Quinton de Kock has ever faced. So it's not like we've seen this before, because this is his worst run of form that he's had in T20 cricket, I think, in any form of cricket, actually. I don't think he's gone this long without scoring runs. I mean, only 136 within 12 games is not a great run. And we have to just say the facts. Do we believe in him? Yes. Do we want him to succeed? Yes. Do we want him to get more opportunities? Yes. But he hasn't been good, and he should be criticized for that. That's all I'm saying. Who will be captain if Pavuma isn't fit for the World Cup, Miller or Kesh? I think they'll give it to Miller because based on availability. I mean, it's clear to see that Keshav's probably the captain in this team. And the only reason perhaps they never pick Keshav as captain for T20s, I think, is because they might not play two spinners in every single game, depending on conditions. So far, I think these grounds and these conditions suited the two spinners, and so far, our spinners have been doing really well in this tour. Apart from that first game in Bristol, other than that, South Africa's done really well with the spinners have done really well having the two spinners in the team. So it's worked so far. Khalid Abdi also had a bad T20 series against Australia in 2016, but he didn't get dropped. Yes, and I understand that, but there hasn't only been one series for Quinny now. It's been a couple. Like I said, 12 games that he hasn't scored a runs of above 36. 36 is the highest score. So it has been a bad run of form. And I know you want to bring this up, ABD now up about bad series, but where was this evidence brought up when other players didn't perform well? That's what I'm saying. I just want to see consistency in our evidence that we want to bring out to back up players that we like. We should also protect players that we don't like to, or that you don't like to, or we should like every single player, I guess, in the squad and support them when they get selected. I just want to see consistency with regards to that, please. I'm just asking. You don't have to. It's your decision what you want to make. But guys, smash the like button, please, and comment and subscribe to this channel. I'm really tired, guys. It's been a long week. It's been a long day. I need some sleep because I haven't been sleeping much. Last week, I only slept 6 hours for the entire week. With this happening and the magazine coming out at the end of the month, it was tough time for me. So I'm trying to recoup now and recover. So thanks a lot for tuning in. I know it's a little bit shorter. Sorry that nobody came on. It's a late night. So and it's also, I heard that it's load shedding maybe in certain parts of South Africa as well. So that's why some of the guys never joined. But we'll see you guys again tomorrow with another daily show. Take care. Sleep well, guys. Have a great end to the week. And we'll see you guys again very, very, very soon. Take care, everybody. Peace.